Hey guys, it's Charlene. Thank you so much for joining me on the ScrapbookPal YouTube channel. I have a fun card today to show you using the Honeybee A Little Note stamps and dies, as well as the stencils. So let's jump right in. You're going to want to start out with 2 pieces of cardstock. Now, these pieces of cardstock are 6 1/4 inches wide and 5 1/2 inches tall. And then you're going to come in 1/2 inch and 1 whole inch from each side and put a score line. So again, that's 1/2 inch from the left, 1/2 inch from the right, 1 inch from the left, 1 inch for the right. And you're going to repeat this on both pieces of cardstock. This is going to allow us to have a pop-up card when we're all done. So you're going to take your pieces and you're going to fold the farthest in score line so that it goes towards the back like that. And you'll want to use a bone folder to accomplish that to get a real nice fold. And then you're going to use the one that was scored at 1/2 inch to fold back towards you. So it's going to have a little bit of a Z fold. So fold in and then fold back out on each side. And you're going to repeat that for both pieces of cardstock. And once you have both of those, you can hold them up and you'll see when those 2 folds are stuck together, which we're going to do later, it will allow your card to lay flat inside of an envelope, but then pop up as soon as it comes out. So here's the adorable A Little Note stamp set, and I'm going to stamp out this beautiful heart inset wreath with some black pigment ink. I'm using black pigment ink for everything, and I'm coming in here making sure I get a really nice stamping down on here, and then I'm going to, at the bottom, I'm going to use 2 additional stamps from the set. I'm using this beautiful banner stamp, and so our sentiment is then going to get stamped right in the center of that directly onto the banner. This one says, "You're my favorite." But there's lots of fun sentiments in the set. The coordinating die set has tons and tons of dies that match with everything, so definitely check that out as well. But I've die cut the inset heart from the wreath out, and now I'm going to stamp through onto that second piece of cardstock with another sentiment. And this one says, "Hello, friend." Now I have the layering stencils, and there are 4 of these. I love layering stencils. They make cards super easy to color. And I'm going to color lots of different areas on this stencil with different colors of distress ink. I'm starting out with Tattered Rose, so I'm going to color all of the flowers with Tattered Rose. But then other layers of the stencil are going to allow me to add extra color. So here I'm coming in now with Saltwater Taffy, and this is going to allow me to darken the inner part on all of those flowers with a kind of brighter, darker shade of the pink. So now I'm going to do the hearts, and I've come in here with some Peacock feathers. I love this color. It's just such a fun teal color, and I'm coloring in those 3 hearts. And then I have Lucky Clover, and I'm going to use that to color all of kind of the fatter leaf sections. For the thinner ones, I'm going to use a different color. But now I'm going to go back and I'm going to color the banner also with the peacock feathers, so that way it picks up the color from those hearts that I did, as well as it's going to pick up color from the piece that's going to be behind the card front. For those little inset pieces on the banner, I'm using some pine needles to get a nice darker green color. And then I'm going to use that same color on the thinner leaves. I did, for this particular stencil, decide to grab some Post-it tape just to mask off the little areas, because this stencil in particular also works for the very inner part on a lot of those little flowers. And I want to use a different color for those. I'm coming in here with pumice stone because I want those to be a dark gray, but you could use whatever colors you want to create that beautiful look. Okay, so I finished up all the stenciling. It was so easy, and I just flipped over the card panel now. I'm using some 1/8 inch double-sided score tape here, and I'm just bending it as I went around that heart piece, so that way I could go all the way around. Peeled off the release tape, and now I have a small square of acetate that I'm going to lay directly on there, because this is going to be a shaker pop-up. So I've got some double-sided foam tape on there, taking off the release paper, putting in some pretty little crystal balls here that are going to shake around and look so nice. And then I'm covering this piece up with another piece of acetate. Just want to make sure that everything gets adhered down really well so that way none of those pieces come out. Okay, now for the fun part, we're going to put these two pieces together. I've again got some 1/8 inch score tape here. You could use a thicker size if you have that. I just had that out, so that's what I used. I put 2 strips instead of, like, if I was using a 1/4 inch, I would have just put 1 strip. And now you just line up both sides, matching up those score lines as you put it together, and you adhere one side and then you're going to adhere the other side. It's really, really easy to do. This only took me a few minutes to put this all together. And once you have it down, you just want to make sure and secure those edges really well. To add a little bit more shine and fun to this card, I'm coming in here with some Glossy Accents, and I did put them in a small needle-nosed bottle. I like to use this for my detail work, and coming along on all those different little parts and getting some beautiful glossy accents on there. I did the hearts as well as the centers of the flowers and just a few other little spots here and there. What I love about this is that the stamps, dies, and stencils coordinate really well, and you can make all kinds of different looks with this card. You could make this bright, you could make it more muted, which is what I was going for. You could use the dies for the banner and put them right over the heart. Just so many different possibilities. So once I get done with all of that little detail work with the Glossy Accents, I am going to come in actually with my larger size bottle because I want to fill in the entire banner because I want to give that just a little bit more shine and oomph. A few things to keep in mind when you're working with Glossy Accents is you've got to be patient. Do not try and poke the Glossy Accents. You got to set that aside. I let mine sit out overnight, but you got to at least let it sit for a couple hours, in particular when you're doing a really large space like the banner. So now this is the next day. I've got my card. It's all nice and dry. I've got a couple of pieces of glittery silver cardstock here, and I've put some liquid adhesive on the back there, and I'm just gonna line those up. I've cut these to 1/2 inch so that they will fit perfectly. This is just an added little extra step because I thought it would be fun to have a little bit more shine and bling on those strips rather than just having them be the plain white. And I'm just trimming off the extra down there at the bottom. So now when you pull this out of the envelope, look how cute this is. It pops up, it's got the shaker, it's got the second greeting on the inside there, and all of that shine from the Glossy Accents. Be sure to like and subscribe as well as hit that notification bell so you can get more tutorials from ScrapbookPal in the future. I hope you guys have an amazing, wonderful, and crafty day.